We hear the word trauma thrown around all the time, but what if I told you it's not just a bad memory, but something that can actually get physically stuck inside your body? Today, we're going to unpack that exact idea, pulling from the incredible work of Dr. Bessel van der Kolk in his book, The Body Keeps the Score.
And right there, that's the idea that changes everything. Trauma isn't about some event that's in the past that's over and done with. Nope. It's about how that event continues to live inside our bodies, in our physiology, right now. This is the big idea we're going to explore.
Okay, so to really get this, we've got to draw a really clear line in the sand. Trauma is not just a really bad day. It's not even just a period of intense stress. It is, as we're about to see, a whole different animal.
Dr. van der Kolk makes this crucial distinction. Look, we all deal with stress, right? Deadlines at work, arguments, just tough days. But with stress, once the thing is over, your body gets the memo. It chills out. With trauma, the event might be long gone, but your body is still on high alert, reacting as if that threat is happening all over again, right here, right now.
Now, when you hear the word trauma, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's soldiers returning from war. And while that is absolutely a source of trauma, it turns out that initial understanding was incredibly narrow.
I mean, that's a pretty powerful admission, isn't it? The very experts who first defined PTSD eventually realized their own definition was just way too small. They were focused on these quote-unquote extraordinary events, things way outside of normal life. But it turns out the roots of trauma are often disturbingly common.
Just let this number sink in for a second. 1 out of every 8 children in America witnesses physical violence between their parents. That is not extraordinary. That is a widespread crisis happening behind closed doors, rewriting childhoods all over the country.
And look, that's just scratching the surface. When you start to add in other experiences like physical abuse from a caregiver or unwanted sexual experiences, a clear pattern starts to emerge. The most profound traumas often don't happen on some distant battlefield. They happen in the one place we're supposed to feel the safest.
So, if trauma isn't just about the event itself, then what is it? Well, the absolutely crucial insight here is that it's all about the internal response. It's about how your unique brain and your body process what happened to you. This is a total game changer. It means 2 people can go through the exact same horrible event, and for one person it becomes a trauma, and for the other it doesn't. It all comes down to your personal history, your biology, and, this is critical, whether you feel safe and supported in that moment.
To make this crystal clear, Dr. van der Kolk tells this simple but honestly brilliant story. Imagine a little kid gets bitten by a dog. It's scary, it hurts, it's a definite threat.
Okay, so what happens in the next few seconds? That's everything. If a parent or a caregiver rushes in, scoops the child up, comforts them, and makes them feel safe, the entire experience is transformed. The presence of a loving, supportive person is the single biggest factor in stopping an event from becoming a trauma.
And right there, that's the whole point in a nutshell. The trauma isn't the dog bite. The trauma would have been facing that terror alone. Because a caregiver was there, the child's basic sense of safety in the world isn't shattered. The lesson isn't the world is a terrifying place. The lesson is, wow, scary things happen, but someone's got my back.
So, what part of our brain are we even talking about here? Dr. van der Kolk has a fantastic name for it, the cockroach brain. Yeah, the cockroach brain. This is not the part of your brain that does math or appreciates art. This is the ancient, primitive, animal part of you that has one job and one job only: scan for danger and keep you alive.
So when a traumatic event goes down, this cockroach brain basically stages a coup. It hijacks the whole system. It shoves your rational mind out of the way and just starts mashing the big red danger button over and over. And because survival is its only goal, your higher brain functions, the parts that let you think clearly and be creative, they get shut down. It is pure, raw animal survival.
Okay, but here's the devastating catch for someone with trauma. That danger button gets stuck. The brain stays in survival mode, even when the threat is a distant memory. And this is where we get to the heart of it. This is where the body literally starts keeping the score.
I mean, think about it. If your body is always braced for a fight that never comes, how are you supposed to engage with the world? How can you learn anything new? Forget about just feeling simple pleasure or joy. Your body is perpetually mobilized for a war that ended a long, long time ago, flooding your system with stress hormones for a battle that only exists inside you. And look, this constant internal alarm, it's not just in your head. It is not just a feeling. No, we're talking about real physical damage, major disruptions to your hormonal system, your immune system. This is exactly why things like chronic pain, autoimmune diseases, and all sorts of other devastating health problems are so common after trauma. The body is truly keeping a painful physical score.
Okay, so we've seen how trauma can rewire an individual's brain, how it can really damage the body, but if we stop there, we are missing a massive piece of the puzzle. It's so easy to think of this as just an individual's problem, but the society we live in plays a huge role.
See, things like poverty or racism or huge income gaps, these aren't just abstract ideas we debate about. On a biological level, for that cockroach brain, they are constant, low-grade threats. They send a nonstop stream of "you are not safe" signals, which erodes that fundamental sense of security we all need to actually thrive.
So, what's the antidote to all this? Well, think back to that child in the dog bite. Just like that parent rushing in to help, the single most important factor for thriving, especially through adversity, is having a real sense of community. It's that feeling that we're in this together, that people have your back.
And that all leads to this final, really powerful challenge from Dr. van der Kolk. This entire understanding of trauma forces us to ask a different question. We need to stop asking, "What's wrong with you?" and start asking, "What happened to you?" And maybe the most important question of all is, how can we, as a society, help? Because healing trauma isn't just a medical issue. It's about building a world where every single one of us feels safe enough to be a full member of the human race.